Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Today is a workshop to go over our ICIP. And will the deputy clerk please take the roll call?
Commissioner Milligan,
Here.
Commissioner Brennan,
Here.
Commissioner Reardon.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Reardon,
do we know if Devin's going to be able to call in?
did Devin say he was,
He made no
Commissioner
plans.
Seattle say he was going to be able to call in or not?
I have not heard anything.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so the ICIP, which stands for Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plan, you got to go over this every year, and it's a 5-year look on what the town would like to be able to be doing. One of the important things about the ICIP, if we go for capital outlay money, it's got to be on the ICIP. All right, so we're going to start off. Did everybody get a copy of what we're looking at from the table? All right, good. So let's go ahead and look at some of the projects we want to get added to our ICIP. Then we're also going to look at some of what's been on for previous years. All right, so we got the wastewater treatment plant.
So if I may, sir.
Sure, if you want to take it over there.
I'd like Noah to take it over.
Well, put the new guy on the spot. You're cruel.
So for those of you may or may not kept up with this, but Noah started out as our Parks, Open Spaces, and Trails specialist. And he is so sharp, so good with math, and really good with grants, that he's our acting grants coordinator right now as well. And so he's gonna go through this presentation a little bit. I'm gonna jump in a couple spots here and there because it's just, as you well know, it's hard for me not to jump in here and there on things and stick my nose into it. So Noah, take it away.
Well, it's a workshop, so
Absolutely.
it's
Anybody can jump in.
not a free-for-all, but
Yeah, anybody.
good.
it's an open floor.
There you go.
Okay, so this is the ICIPs, which stands for Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plans. It's in the CAP system, which is by the NMDFA. So an Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plan is a 5-year plan used by NMDFA and the town to identify, prioritize, and schedule projects. The type of projects that are included are those of 10 years and usually cost more than $10,000. And they help, I can't think of the word. They identify and plan for future growth and development. Okay, so going to the next page. These are the ones that were previously in the ICIP. We looked them over, and this is what was prioritized the previous time before I was here. So we started with wastewater treatment plant, Route 66 sewer line expansion, water quality improvement, motor grader, and Church Street roadway project. And
Those
this,
are the current ones, sorry.
Yeah.
No. Those are the current ones you're operating out now.
yes.
And there's a sheet on the back of it that shows all of the ones we had for 2026.
Yeah, and then after we go through all these, you could look at the back and we could reprioritize or whatever seems fit. And then going to the next slide, which would be the current one that is due tomorrow, or yeah.
Absolutely.
So we got the first one. This is the order that this is in is what we think should be prioritized. Kelly and I came up with this. So first would be Police Department firing range. Monies received from Marathon Petroleum, which I'll let Kelly talk a little bit about.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, you'll remember that we worked and negotiated with Marathon Petroleum to get $100,000 for the damage for their, 30,000 of it was for roadway crossings and $70,000 of it was for damages to, or, you know, that's what we negotiated with them. And so $100,000 was always, and I've approached the commission on this before, but that $100,000 we hope to designate the purchase land for the police department training or firing facility qualification range, and then ultimately maybe have their training facility on that. So that one's already funded, we've received the money, and I just wanna keep it at the top of the list so that money doesn't just kinda fade away into a budget somewhere and disappear.
Yep, and then going second, Church Street roadway project, and then Town Hall,
Up on Church Street.
Church Street.
I have an expert witness right here, Josh, rather than, and I always do this to you, but I'm sorry, we have, that in the past, that's been like $2 million or something. I think we can do it cheaper than that, can't we?
Yeah, and if we do it in-house and everything, I can do it quite a bit cheaper than that. So,
I put $1.5 million down, but I don't know that that's the exact figure. You and I talked about maybe even less than that. Some of that's already funded. We've got $750,000, I think, stashed away for that. And we're debating whether we need one of those cement low water boxes or if we can get by with culverts and easements and do it that way significantly cheaper. One of the things that always concerns us, or has always concerned me, is we tend to over-engineer things to death, and then we don't have any money to actually do the project. So,
just to do, in my thinking and everything, to build that road up and do the low water crossing, with culverts, we'll have way over budget with $700,000 what we have. So, that's my thinking.
Yeah, sounds good. So going to the third one, Town Hall Complex Engineering and Construction. This has such a high number because it's going to include a civic center, police department, and a library as well as the town hall. That's where we kind of got that number roughly.
so I'm
Go.
gonna jump in here for a little bit more narrative on that.
Sounds good.
I don't, and I'm just gonna be very honest with you, and we're gonna try our darndest, the school district and I, we've already had some initial conversations. I don't know that we're ever going, I'm not saying we're not, but in the event that we can't come to an agreement, I think we need to be looking a little bit more forward on
Plan B.
Plan B. So that would be Plan B, that'd be about 83,000 square feet with all the entities that he talked about. And, right now, 58 to 60 million current costs.
Now, that, if I remember correctly, that's something it could actually be built in pieces.
It is.
Yes.
It absolutely could. Phases.
Yeah,
That's phases.
Yes, phases.
Next.
And then going to water quality improvement. Can you jump in a little bit more on that one, Kelly?
Absolutely can. That's a carryover, it's been in here a long time, or at least it was last year, and $12 million. There's, as everybody knows, and it's on our website, you know, we're working with a company to bring additional water into the area, not just us, but this area, surrounding area, our partners. It is not, and I repeat, it is not a pipeline for Campbell Ranch, Campbell Farm, or whatever it is. That's not, this is a much larger project. It would benefit our neighbors. What is it, Melody Ranch, that could use some additional water down there. So that's, and what's interesting about this one, when I look at the current, on our website, it says funded or partially funded, and I don't know where that $12 million, how it would be funded yet. So this is a carryover.
Adam, apparently the YouTube can't hear the podium, so maybe the mic is not loud
Mic
enough
is
there.
on. People were speaking in the crowd. And
Okay.
That's probably why they can't hear.
Yeah, I got a text that it was the podium.
Interesting. The podium is on, and I can hear it.
Do we have the portable mic we can use? Does it work?
When Noah speaks into the mic, we can hear it loudly. That means that microphone is working.
Okay.
You're probably referring to when Josh was speaking, and when Kelly was speaking.
Yeah, maybe.
off mic.
In any case, can we
Podium
fire
mic.
up the remote mic?
Sure.
Okay. And then if somebody needs to talk, we can just hand it off to them.
Yeah. And then I'll move on while he's doing that. And then the wastewater treatment plant, the $2,775,000, that's carryover from previous years as well. Much needed. We're at a precarious position with the wastewater treatment plant. Our crane, we had one simple thing go out. We can't, they don't make that simple, whatever it was, Josh, what was it? Control switch, something?
There's a control switch for actually, it's the directional switch.
Yeah. It went out, a blower went out the other day, and a lot of the parts, they just don't make anymore, so we're gonna have to replace the overhead crane, gantry, whatever you wanna call it. And so we got a lot of issues like that. We need more membranes. If development continues at the rate we are, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna approach our 50% capacity pretty quickly and have to expand that capacity with the other part. Have you got anything else, sir?
I think that is all. And now we just go into, oh, I guess I don't have the pages. Oh, yes, I do. The prioritization and changes, and what you guys think we should prioritize mostly.
So we'd want you to look, and we'd want the public to too, look at that last page. Those are all the ones that we currently have. And the top 5, we have to clearly identify the top 5 for the next planning period, but that doesn't keep us from having that rotating list, revolving list that goes from year to year so we don't forget anything. So go back a slide, kind sir. These top 5, you can add, you can subtract, you can do anything you want to, you can reprioritize. These are just our suggestion based on day-to-day activities. We'd love to hear from the public as well.
Anybody from the public like, wanna give up their ideas?
The people online want to hear you.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Doesn't sound like it, but I think it is.
Okay. My recollection was that last year Ann Thornton got us 670,000, and maybe that's this 617 for the engineering on the sewer for Route 66.
Route 66 sewer line extension.
Is that already been spent? Where is that money, or are we asking for it again?
I will need to go back and look. That makes sense. Hold on a minute, I'll tell you why it makes sense.
Well, also, some of that money was also for improvements to the wastewater treatment plant itself and the extension of the line.
So as I understand it, $617,000 was to do engineering for increasing that. We may have it. It may be, and we'll double check on this, because I did see that it was committed, but we may not be able to capture it because of our 2024, 2025 audits needing to be done. Does that make sense at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Sadly, and I don't like to say that, but I'm not going to beat around the bush on it.
So, no, that's it for now. Oh, wait.
Okay, may I speak?
Yeah, you get the
I don't know
microphone.
if you can hear. The Route 66 sewer line expansion, where is it being expanded to?
So as I understand it, and this would be passed to me from Linda Burke, it would be studying the expansion. I think it ends right now at Sunwork Financial or
Right,
Index. or
right,
the
right in that
auto parts
neighborhood,
store maybe?
yeah, and it's gonna go further east.
Further east. And you raise an interesting, and you would know more about this probably than anybody in the room. We have to be careful. It would be nice, let's say that RV park could hook up to it. But we have to be careful of what they put into the system because of the chemicals and so forth, is my understanding. So if we're looking at expansion out that way, eventually it was a study to expand the sewer system, how far out, how we could do it, that sort of thing.
Okay, I was just wondering if there's any businesses out there that are already asking, for sewer hookups down there,
I believe that RV park is,
okay?
but we're
you
gonna
said,
need to be careful with that and a couple others, businesses that put the type of waste they put in the system messes up our wastewater treatment plant pretty badly.
so then would a study for that occur before we do any groundbreaking?
As I understand it, and this has just been passed down to me, the 600 and some thousand was specifically designed for an engineering study. Is that correct? if you remember?
For most of it, and like I said, there was also some things that had to be done to the plant itself.
Okay, and one other comment I want to make. Church Street Road has been on the books for years and years now. At one time, we had the money for it. I'd like to see that move up to number one. That is going to be, that is an arterial, it's a school bus route, and, you know, if we need to get people out of town going eastbound,
Hazmat incident,
be the
something like
place to
that, we
go.
need an egress out of town.
yeah.
Don't disagree.
I just want to make sure I understand about the sewer line. You said that money wasn't available because the audit isn't in? Will it be available when the audit goes in, or did we lose it?
I believe at some point it'll probably have to be reauthorized, but I just don't know, and I need to go back and research that.
And my memory was that that money that Aunt Thornton got us was the only money last year? Is that correct?
No, I believe we had a reauthorization for either 300 or 300 and some thousand for the trail system.
Okay.
Which, I might add, we would add to federal monies from a DOT grant, correct? And we were within moments, literally, of losing that grant, and NOAA and DOT officials were able to save that for us and get it renewed.
Yeah, we have till next year to get the right of way acquisition now.
And that's the Edgewood Trail, Edgewood 7 Trail.
Also, the extension of that sewer line is also for future businesses. Businesses like to see infrastructure already in place before they go and build. We have that in place, you know, you build it, they will come.
Can I add another little blurb on the sewer system? We're looking at working, so the academy over here, their septic system is failing, and they need to hook up to our sewer system if at all possible. And then the developer that wants to put the houses around the academy, he would be interested in that sewer system. So we're looking at an extension of the sewer system down this highway, 344, and we're looking at USDA fund or grant. Well, we don't apply, we don't qualify for the grant because our meeting didn't come. It would have to be a loan, a USDA loan, to extend the sewer system this way further. But that might also have an advantage to Venus Park down the road, a future city hall, or maybe this city hall, or does that make any sense? Good.
Oh, Christina, quick question. Did we have a copy of what our prioritization was last year handy? Just so for comparison?
Yes, you do. It's the back sheet of that handout you have right there.
That's what you're looking at.
Oh, okay, that's already in last year's order, perfect.
Yeah, if
Thank
you look at the date, that goes 27 to 31.
Oh, got it.
This one goes 28 to 32.
And Tina and I apologize for not having this in a packet, getting it out last Friday, and getting it to the public and you beforehand. It just didn't work, did it, Tina? We just didn't get it out because we were swamped.
And as the projects get done, they drop off of this list.
I'm coming. My man's coming.
I want to go back to Church Street again. Okay, on this summary, project summary, the funded to date, it says $1,254,922. This is what we've spent to get that crossing in? Because as far as I know, that's all, and plus the design work. Can you tell me what that is? Is that it?
It is. So,
And then it says 2027, 1,800,000. That doesn't match what we're asking for on the ICIP, so.
So I'm going to be very honest with you, that figure right up there is one that is an estimate based on what Josh thinks he could probably get it done for, as opposed to actually pay, asphalt.
Because I've been talking to Josh, he thought he would be able to start on it sooner, so we're gonna have to sit here and wait for money from the ICIP to get this done?
No. I think, Josh, and I don't remember how much money we have committed to this project. I know there's $750,000 somewhere that we can use for crossing. If we can change the crossing, that may not cost $750,000. And then Josh, I think you can, so that's a elevated figure for what I think we can do it on for chip seal. Josh, what's it gonna cost to chip seal Church Street?
It's gonna be, it's a little shy of a mile, so it'll be around 42,000. That's,
So that's a worst-case scenario. I think we can do it substantially. Chip seal, I think we can do substantially cheaper than that. That is truly a WAG. If, and that WAG right there is based on if we had to go with a second low water crossing with the box system that I don't think we do. But we need to acquire some easements for water to go through and be able to ditch that,
Yeah, it's just sad that we wasted 4.5 years because we thought we had to have this water crossing and all this drainage. And here we sit, going back to something simple.
I agree. I don't disagree. I
It's
totally agree.
it's just very upsetting.
And that's one of many engineering
Not
studies.
your fault, but.
One of many engineering studies we have sitting on a shelf. And then Josh takes me out, we go right around, look at it, and he's like, I think I could do this, this, and this, and have a chip sealed road. I hear you. And I understand, trust me on that one.
I have friends and stuff, people are, have you ever heard anything, are they ever gonna do Church Street Road? I says, well, I think they really are, but I said, well, we'll believe it when we see it.
Get ready, stop, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to add one more comment about Church Street. I prefer the asphalt rather than chip seal. I think it
Okay.
should be asphalt.
Okay.
I do agree with her on that, but if we're gonna wait 10 more years to get payment, then.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I'd rather have asphalt. Josh, any thoughts?
I mean, asphalt's a lot better, but like they said, if we're gonna have to come up with a lot more funds to do that, we're gonna wait a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for asphalt and that, you're looking at probably, 1.4 million to asphalt it at the current prices? Whereas chip seal, we can get chip seal down now, and 5, 6, 7 years down the road, when we're in a better position, you can asphalt over the top of the chip seal. And it actually becomes an even better road.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I wish we could asphalt every one of them, that needed to be.
So we got some money from that DOT funding for church, right?
We do.
So how much is sitting there for us to use there?
I know we have 750,000, and it may be more than that.
So that's, some of that money came
Yeah.
from there, okay.
Yeah, and that first low water crossing, the final price in that was way, 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 way higher than what the
1.2
estimates
million,
were.
wasn't it, Josh?
Cause I know we had 500,000 left, then we ended up having the leftover from West Phoenix, and I moved over.
That's right.
250,000, then after that, I don't.
One more last comment. Where do the police practice right now?
They practice at a private ranch. One of them is kind of like blessing them, letting them use it. One of the officers has a membership. I want to say it's like Bighorn Shooting Range. So they're kind of allowing them to kind of do it for now, but that welcome's kind of getting worn out, so.
And that, as the commissioner says.
And they
that's-
have to buy property though for this. It has to be.
They do. I think we have the opportunity to use, and I've always said that marathon monies I would hope that we could use it for that. And I think they have the opportunity to be out by the wastewater treatment plant. And the long-term goal of that and vision would be, and then we get them a building. And I think, we've got a good police department, some good instructors, and some good, in this area, I think we could do some instruction. I think we could turn a profit on some of that. One step at a time. The other thing, if I just may, looking at the town hall complex engineering construction, right now we're paying, as I understand, about $6,000 a month renting the police department that they're in. It's tight, really tight. And it just seems to me like the $6,000 a month, if we could get it directed toward a new, or whatever, if we're able to buy this, and I don't know if that's even a possibility, or a new facility of some sort, I think it might be better spent and better directed, I don't know.
So looking at the priority list, the 5 that we have here, and once again, just because something's not on the priority list does not mean we can't go after it for money. It's just you need to have your top 5.
And I would encourage, if the public or the commissioners have anything they want to get on this list, let's get it on. Because I've seen times where legislators didn't necessarily just look at the 5 lists, they found something on the
else on the
list.
yes.
So I encourage you to have a pretty thorough list.
How does this match up to your land use and community planning that's been done?
I'm glad you asked that. That's a great question. Noah, isn't it true that you went through our comprehensive plan and on several of these, and I want to say, and I'm just picking one out, potentially maybe water quality improvement, that might have been identified in the comprehensive plan, a new town or a town hall that we owned.
Yeah, complex, I saw the complex.
Yeah, so he did go through it, and no, I won't speak for you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so with that, it's, so when I went through the comprehensive plan, we saw a lot of just parks and rec, so a lot for section 16, section 2932, improvements to those. So whenever I went through CAPS, I also wanted to add those two, because I think section 29 and 32 and section 16 improvements are very important because they're leased, and if we don't make improvements like constantly, then the state land office, they've actually came to me a few times and said, we're not sure if we want to keep leasing you this because we haven't made the improvements that we need to.
I'm new to this. We're 16.
16 is this. It's, well, yeah, this entire piece going off to, yes, yeah, all the way to the road, NM 344, and to, I think it is Horan. Yeah, so from there to there, and then I think Venus, yeah.
And we're actively working on acquiring the lease for all of section 16.
Yes.
Who is the lease owner right now?
Oh, we are.
The state land.
For state, yeah, portions of it we own, and then portions
Or
of
lease.
it, yeah, sorry. The district owns our leases, and then it's all owned by the state land office.
Which district?
I believe,
What was the question, I'm sorry?
District.
District?
I believe 5, but I
think-
don't want to be,
yeah.
yeah. I'm pretty sure 5 though.
But don't hold us to that.
Yeah,
I think it's
no,
5
yeah.
too, but don't
You're
hold us
talking
to
about
that.
DOT district?
It is DOT District 5.
Yeah. 3's Bernalillo.
But state land office has, and you raise a really great question, state land office has become very adamant about no. They used to it seems like they used to, yeah, sure, you can lease it for 40 years. Now they want to see, they will say, okay, we'll lease it to you for 5 years, and we want to see your plan of what you're going to do with it, which is fair. And then we'll consider longer if you're abiding by that plan and if you're advancing that plan in some fashion.
This
Yeah.
is just published a plan, right? In 2025?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We did?
Oh, well, that's,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the comprehensive plan. This is a little different plan. I think you adopted the comprehensive plan in 2025, didn't you? I'd have to go
Yes.
back and look. So this is a different plan. They want to see, so
When
let's
does
say.
the aging on this one come?
What's that?
The one you're talking about, the plan that you're referring to, which one? Is that a 5-year turnover, and is that due sometime soon, or for a review, or?
So it's recently, it was, I think 2025 was adopted, but don't hold me to that, we can go find out. But the other plan I'm talking about is the State Land Office requires a use plan for their leases, and they want to see, so, and this is, and this,
I believe 2014, the master plan for section 16.
2014?
Yes.
yeah.
And for
That's the last
section,
one I found.
for section 32, we're in the process of developing a management plan now to try to obtain that lease. So we're in the process of that, isn't that right, Mr. Kelly?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Where is 32?
It's south.
So, for
Yeah,
that
if you-
one,
If you
it's,
look at that, the one map right behind Manager Kelly's head, with that purple,
Yeah. 32.
And management plan is exactly the word I was missing. State Land Office is really, they really want to see a 5-year management plan. They want to see us adhere to it, and then they'll consider a longer lease.
So our last one was 2014.
I believe that's correct, but I would have to look. I think that may have been the last lease we had on section 32. I don't know that.
oh, for, that one, I'm not sure when the last one was, but we did submit one with Roger Holden.
That's true.
Yeah, and they said, it was for a 40-year plan, and they were like, you guys need to shorten it up because we're not gonna give you 40 years to do something again. Yeah, so now we're having to work on the 5-year plan. Yeah.
And don't confuse that with Echo Ridge
Mhm.
that we're trying to purchase from BLM.
Yeah, right across the street.
Those are great questions. And anytime you want to come in and help us with that management plan, I know you're good at that sort of thing. I've seen you in action. Absolutely, 100%.
and then also the plan for section 16. We've been pretty much following that plan. That's like the second soccer field is part of that plan. The bathrooms was part of that plan, extending it out. And we're continuing on. Every year, we're trying to make, more improvements to it as the funds come available.
Now, here's the interesting, go ahead. But here's the interesting thing about section 16. I believe that a lot of our comprehensive plan talks about the development of section 16 in a futuristic if we had the lease, which we don't. That's kind of the unique part about that. We have some of section 16 leased, but we don't have all of it leased by any stretch of the imagination.
Just brought up another question that hasn't come up in a long time. I know there was talk about doing that second field, and I thought that was gonna happen, but now I've noticed that it's all at a standstill. What is the status on that?
So that's a really good question, and it's about to come up on the next commission agenda. Here's what I'm proposing. We have let's just say $75,000, it may be a little bit more than that, left in the grant. And those fields were destined to have AstroTurf at one point, and that would have been it would be very expensive. And so we have enough money, and we're working with Dennis Engineering to get the plan stamped, the drainage plan stamped for X number of dollars. And then hopefully our roads department, who doesn't know anything about this particularly yet, would go in and do some of the grading, bring some topsoil on, and maintenance would put in a sprinkler system, and we would throw what would we do? Hydroseed, is that what you looked at?
Yeah.
For how many thousand?
Whenever I was looking at, it was with TerraWorks, and it was, I think, 30,000 for the new one, and 20-some thousand for the old field if we did that.
So I'm thinking we have enough money left in that grant. We couldn't do we couldn't do the AstroTurf, but we could do it just like we have the one field down here, and that would be better than a dirt field. But that's coming up on the commission agenda next commission meeting.
Yeah, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on the artificial turf. 4 years ago, when we started talking about it, it was about $600,000. Our last estimate was close to $2 million.
That was unbelievable.
It's just, the cost of that stuff has gone through the roof.
And I think you still have to water it and wash it off.
Yeah.
You do have to water it.
You have to cool
It
it.
just, it doesn't use as much water as natural
Yeah,
grass.
you have to maintain it.
Yep.
Yeah, I know nothing about AstroTurf.
Not like you have to cut it, but you gotta maintain it.
All right, anybody else have any more questions?
I mean, typically when you're trying to invite businesses or gin up economic development, what intersections to these things would intersect those interests from parties that you would be targeting?
Can you say that again for me?
So I was thinking, when you're thinking about economic development for Edgewood, and trying to encourage people to even look this way, you want to give them a list of what you're investing in, right? And so I think what thoughts have been developed around intersecting this list with maybe some of those wish list items, or, you know, those companies have, you know, predetermined matrices of what, you know, how they map things out and stuff like that. So it might be useful if we could identify a group of potentials and find out what their goals are, and then maybe intersect it with some of these plans that we have.
I think that's a great idea, and I'm just going to add a little bit more to that. The Economic Development Council is going to come to this commission at their next meeting and make some proposed changes in their structure. And I think that we have not been engaging the Economic Development Council as much as we should be, because this should be a joint effort with them.
Mr. Chair, a lot of that feedback gets submitted to area as well too. We're a member of that. So area, they look at a lot of those businesses that are looking for site-ready places and provide that information. So they almost kind of serve as like a realtor kind of for businesses. So they can be like, okay, this is what is available at these sites, because a lot of the companies want site-ready, plug-in ready to go. So that's one of the great organizations that we're a part of as well too. So when we have that infrastructure, they just want to hook up and go than rather develop raw land. So that's one of the things we do provide that information to them as well too.
And I mean, this is not an all-inclusive list, but 4 of the things they want to look at is, 1, availability of power, availability of water, availability of sewer, and road access. The town's already been talking with DOT about, you know, 2 other interchanges to, you know, possibly move in. That's, you know, a 10 or 15 year long down the road thing. Unless some other projects that come along can help accelerate that. The extension of the sewer line will help with that. And the water line, there is some water line that goes down, but that can, you know, that's EPCOR's area, so they would have to, you know, say that, yeah, we're gonna extend that, but if they're gonna extend it, they're gonna wanna know that somebody's gonna be moving in to tap into their line so they can recoup the cost that they put in. And the power is available. So it's all there, just not fully put together yet. Extending that sewer line is definitely gonna be a major pin, because that's 2 big things, water and sewer, because they don't wanna operate off of septic systems.
Okay. I've got a question about the water quality improvement project. I've never gotten a good answer about that. We do not own the water utilities. Why are we asking for money for water quality improvement?
So on July 14th, we'll be having a public meeting about that very thing. And you raise a really good point. That's a carryover, and I have no idea what it initially started out to be. I know that we have an opportunity coming up potentially to be part of a pipeline project coming through the area, and so that's how I see that now.
And part of the original plan on that was to acquire, local water rights around here and to have a water treatment system built to where we could pull the water up, treat the water, and then we can sell that water to EPCOR or Antronosa. Because both of those two entities, they have the infrastructure. They get the pipelines,
Well,
but they
that's
don't
wh-
have the quality of the water.
Well, that's why I wonder, why don't they improve the quality of the water?
Because they can't
There's-
get the money for it. Whereas for the town, if we are wholesaling water, we can get grant funding for that. They can't.
Okay, even if we do not own the utility.
We don't have to own the utility. We would be a wholesaling utility. We would not own the distribution system.
Okay,
Just like if, the town could also, if we wanted to, buy our own power plant. We can put our own power plant to produce power, but we are not gonna own the transmission lines. We would own the power plant. And we would sell the power to the local power company, in this case, CNMEC. We could sell power there, right? We don't have any plans to buy a power plant, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
No.
And there will be a presentation to cover all of this on the 14th. It's gonna
Yep.
go through, it's a very comprehensive presentation that'll hopefully answer all of those questions.
So in my mind, it used to mean something other than what it means today, if that makes any sense.
okay. It has evolved. Before we run out of time, I had a couple more comments I wanted to make. First of all, this ICIP submission deadline is tomorrow,
It is.
Wednesday, July 1st. I'm just wondering, why are we waiting to the last minute to have this discussion? It was poor planning, the deadline's tomorrow, there's a holiday on Friday, and a special meeting had to be called to get this job done. And you're lucky to have a quorum. I understand two of the commissioners couldn't make it on this date. And this is out of cycle of our normal meeting nights. And I just want to say, for the governing body's talk about transparency, let me tell you how it looks from the public side of the dais. The need for this ICIP and accompanying special meeting was mentioned just last Tuesday by the town manager before the meeting was adjourned last Tuesday. There were only 3 members of the public still left here watching the event. And that was after we had sat here for over an hour while everyone was in closed session. So I heard that because I was sitting here last Tuesday. The public doesn't know anything about it. I kept watching the town's website for the agenda. I watched last week, I watched through the weekend, and I thought, oh, well, I guess they're not going to do it. Yeah, I got a free night. I don't have to show up on Tuesday. But then it appeared yesterday under upcoming meetings agendas. And I was told by somebody they found it on the town's calendar prior to that. So I just want to say, folks, planning is something that needs some attention. And the other thing I wanted to say in the, on the website about the ICIP, it does highly suggest that you have public input. Well, this is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Last minute, really no public input because nobody knew about it. So this happens every year. I hope you guys do better next year. Thank you.
And I'm going to add a comment, too. I don't disagree with the things she said. However, we are down in staff. We're training a new deputy clerk. We don't have a clerk treasurer. So I would submit to you all, and my time has largely been, and I'm a little sensitive about this, my time this week has been setting up a JPA that you all wanted, that we need for fire and ambulance. So this has taken a second seat to that. My time has also been spent dealing with HR issues because we are short on people, and for whatever reason, has also been spent on budget, trying to make sure we get budget in, train a new finance manager, make sure that budget stays balanced, yet that we accurately fund all of our departments to the greatest extent possible. And so we collectively have to look at workload, and we'll solve it, but I have to prioritize items here. And lawsuits, dealing with all the lawsuits, all of the IPRAs that come in. And so when I look and I make my daily schedule, what is most important, I have to take those 5 top important, the most important, to keep this running, keep fire and EMS services, those sorts of things. And I prioritize. ICIP important, but not as important as the 4 other items this week, the last 2 weeks, ever since we lost a clerk treasurer. Just not as important, I'm sorry. Incredibly important, but not as important as the things I've chose that we have to do. And I apologize to the public, but it is what it is. Not to mention, and how many hours have we spent on planning and zoning, trying to get that bad boy cleaned up and going, and we are. There's just other priority items. So it's easy to say, shoulda, 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 but till you walk a mile in that person's shoes, I sympathize, I empathize, I understand, but I'm gonna have to continue to prioritize.
The good news to this story is we will have fire and EMS services, and the payment will
Absolutely.
take place tomorrow. So thank you for that effort.
That's stabilized, so
Yes.
I mean, staff turnover, dealing with lawsuits, dealing with EBRA's, that just sucks time from
Yes.
an already shallow pool of staffing that's there. So
We have discussed some ideas on how to streamline those processes and how to take some of that workload off of the staff and try to help recruit some of the, some help with recruiting. Kelly and I have discussed that too.
We'll get there. And I'm not, you all know this, but we're cleaning up a lot of a mess that I didn't realize we had.
So, Mr. Hamilton, we do appreciate all the work you're doing. I think you're doing a good job. And
Appreciate it, and
it's
that's
been-
not what it's about. I just-
It's been tough to come in, like, with the things that we've had to deal with. I don't know if I'm on.
It sounded like it was working.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to point out something. We were, I got a few minutes and don't get to talk much on this, but these lawsuits, and I think it's a shame that we continue in this lawsuit with the Bassets. If you think about, you want economic development and all that, you're tying up prime land for a great business that could be bringing money into Edgewood, and this petty issue over that septic sewer line, it's petty. When you look at the big picture, instead of working against somebody, you should be working with them. And we're worried about developing the other side of Old 66. When you got prime property sitting there that could be developed, I'm not getting money out of it in case anybody's wondering that, but, it's a detriment to Edgewood in general to not be doing something there. I wish the commission would really reconsider their decisions on all that, on that lawsuit. Thank you. Well, I had a minute. I thought I'd take it.
Can I respond to that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do have some good news on that lawsuit particularly. There's been some court movement that have allowed us to go back and start working that a little bit further and working it a little bit more in earnest. And we're also heading into mediation on the school district too. So, but you make a really good point. And when we talk about cost, every time we pick up the phone and talk to an attorney, there's a pretty significant cost to it, $200 or $300 an hour anymore. So we got to get rid of some of the. We can't. I don't mean just get rid of, but we got to settle some lawsuits and get out of it. I got nothing.
All right. Anybody else?
Mr. Chair? The only other change I would say to make to the list is I would agree with the public on that, is to put Church Street #1, Police Department 2nd.
We can do that.
Yeah.
And we could, that, when we go into the regular meeting and we go to vote on it, we can bring that up and do it there.
And I honestly think working with our roads and I think we can nail Church Street. Sadly, it may not be with asphalt, it may be chip sealed for now.
Yeah. Something's better than nothing, yeah.
I just want to make sure that I understand. So last year, what Aunt Thornton got for us, the 617, after the January meeting of the legislature, correct me if I'm wrong, are we expecting more this year?
You mean coming out of the next legislative session?
Right, that's where the 617 came from, correct?
That came from the last legislative session.
Okay.
And there was some, on the legislation session before that, actually, if I remember correctly, the first session that Senator Thornton was in office, he gave money, that was for the sewer line then. And then the second installment that he authorized for us was for roads and one other thing, and I can't remember what it was.
I'd have to go back and look. But
Yeah.
you're correct.
Okay, so I
And the
want
other
to
thing-
know, when can we see this money? Is it going to be February? Is it going to be a year from now?
A lot
We-
of times it's tied up until the audit's complete.
Now,
Okay.
the one thing that we can do, it
I
does
agree.
cost us a little money, though, we go with a fiscal agent.
We do. We have a fiscal agent. We can work with
That
that
we can
fiscal agent.
access.
The fiscal agent is through New Mexico Municipal League.
Yep.
And so that's one extra hoop we have to jump through, but that is an option. But the doctor makes a great point. We have to get those two audits done. And 2024 is not going to be easy because
And I would, on our next regular meeting, I would like to have an update of when it was
Absolutely.
expected to be completed. And I'm gonna keep asking every meeting until we.
Good, good. We need to.
So while we still have the public here, looks like we've established, number one would be the Church Street roadway project. Considering that wastewater treatment plant was number one last year, it stands to reason that might still be high on our priority list. So my recommendation is we just kind of walk through this now and
Let's do it.
see if we can at least get us in the ballpark.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this is the top 5 added on to everything that's on the other sheet.
Copy.
And even though we put something number 1, number 2, number 3, when the legislature gets in session, they like to go ahead and switch things around on their own.
Yes, they do.
But the
seen
important thing is having that on the top 5 list.
So number 1, we're gonna go Church Street.
Yep, I'm good with Church Street as number 1. I'm thinking number 2 would be either wastewater treatment plant or water quality improvement. Either of those two, considering one feeds off of the other. So last year wastewater treatment plant was number 1, and we have made some improvements in the last year there.
Yeah, and that's wastewater treatment plant is gonna be an ongoing forever thing, because town will
one
keep
way to look at
growing, equipment keeps, aging out and breaking down, and things have to be expanded. So, I mean, it's always, wastewater treatment is probably always gonna be in the top 5 for quite some time.
I know nothing about wastewater treatment. I know a whole lot more than I used to know, commissioners. I know there's some technology coming online and being used today, modular type wastewater units that may give us some relief there in the future, but you're correct.
And this would include some expansion possibilities as well.
100%, Commissioner.
So we're looking at 1 Church Street, 2 wastewater, 3 water quality, 4 police, 5 town hall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had just written that down.
Alright. That's kind of what I was thinking.
So let's say that again, just so everybody gets it.
So number 1 Church Street project, Number 2, wastewater treatment. 3, water quality. 4, police. 5, town hall.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
And I think the other commissioners would be on board with that order as well, too.
All right, nobody's got anything else then, we can go ahead and get a couple minutes back to our day and get ready for the meeting itself at 6.
In just a second, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
Is that kind of what the public's thinking as well, too, that order of how it's laid out on 1 through 5?
Okay, we got a thumbs up and a couple of other positive
Hearing my
responses.
screaming agony, so.
Yeah,
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
All right, then we'll stand in adjournment for the workshop. It is, come on,
6 o'clock.
one more minute, and it'll be 6 o'clock.